What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. As always, there's lots of news to report in the wrestling world, so join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know, including no backup plan in case Vince passes away, Smackdown ratings, did they go up or down, Ryback Begs WWE, a health update on WWE legend Hacksaw Jim Duggan, 3 new additions to Smackdown, Triple H invites Rob Gronkowski to SummerSlam, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. But let's waste no further time and get straight into the first story, as it seems there's no backup plan in case Vince passes away. It's quite a morbid question, granted, but many fans would want to know what happens to WWE if Vince passes away or he's unable to carry on with his duties for some reason. This question has come up quite frequently after Vince spontaneously made the decision to fire both his co-presidents, George Barrios and Michelle Wilson, who would have taken on the duties of running the company had something happened to Vince. The recent firings have resulted in an uncertain contingency plan. Meltzer spoke on the situation on the Wrestling Observer Radio, saying, "It's got to be something really serious for him to fire both people without notice, with no succession plan, and kinda killing the succession plan, because if something happened to Vince, you know everybody expected that Michelle Wilson and George Barrios would be the people to run the company. Now nobody knows who will run the company, and that uncertainty is one of the reasons their stock price dropped a lot. In the hopefully unlikely event that something happened to Vince or he's unable to continue, who would he pass control over to? Son Shane McMahon, daughter Stephanie and son-in-law Triple H, or someone completely different? Whoever it is, as of right now, there seems to be no plan in place. Definitely not a good sign for shareholders or stockholders. Next up, did SmackDown's ratings go up or down? It looks like Friday Night SmackDown is having ratings problems again, with the WWE show falling in the ratings for the second week in a row. The Wrestling Observer Figure 4 Online is reporting overnight ratings for last night's SmackDown on Fox saw the show drop 4% in the ratings for the second consecutive week, averaging 2.369 million viewers for the first episode of the show since the Royal Rumble. There's been little word on how Fox feels about the WWE's ratings, but its performance in beating network programming in the 18 to 49 department has to be encouraging. We'll continue following this as well as Thursday's all-important financial report from the WWE. Maybe it'll be there where Vince decides his successor. Next up, Ryback Begs WWE. Ryback Reeves, who changed his name from Ryan Reeves, is looking to protect his trademark name Ryback by trademarking the intellectual property. It looked like things were going smoothly until the WWE entered the scene, and now Ryback faces an expensive court battle if he wants to get it back. Rather than taking things to court, Ryback tweeted a plea for mercy, publicly asking WWE, Vince McMahon, Triple H to let the Ryback trademark go. It wasn't created by them, and trying to make someone spend nearly $200,000 to keep their legal name and brand is petty and unnecessary. Please move on and erase me from your history and programming. 2 things make this unlikely to happen, the first being the WWE's constant efforts to protect its intellectual property, in this case the Ryback character it developed for Reeves to play. The second reason is that Ryback has repeatedly complained about the WWE's treatment of him, and been quite vocal in his disdain for the promotion as well as Triple H. Anyone familiar with Ryback's past comments shouldn't feel sorry for someone who is now reaping what he's sown. Yeah, the WWE is petty, but Ryback hasn't helped himself in the least with his remarks. Plus, if the WWE would have erased Ryback from the history, would have anybody even noticed? Next up, AEW Grappling with pay-per-view problems in the UK. As noted in a previous news video, AEW lost its UK television deal for airing pay-per-views when its UK home ITV dropped its pay-per-view division. According to this week's Observer, this could be a serious problem for AEW. Right now, the 29th February Revolution show will be on Fight streaming, and they are in talks with another television pay-per-view provider in the UK, but there aren't that many options. ITV4 would air the 1-hour pre-show live on television to push buys, which makes sense since they were partners, and that also helped drive buys. UK television pay-per-view usually means around 15,000 to 20,000 buys, and while some will move to Fight, not everyone does so because a solid percentage of the audience still has an aversion to internet-only pay-per-view. While the Observer could be right, AEW's UK buy rates depend on how badly AEW fans want to see the show. If the demand is high enough, they may choose to try the internet-only option regardless of their reservations. What AEW should also focus on is reducing its pay-per-view costs in the US, as there is still resistance to the $49 price. Next up, a talk segment returns to Smackdown. The WWE has announced the 7th February episode of Smackdown will feature the return of John Morrison and The Miz's talk segment, The Dirt Sheet. The show aired on WWE.com before jumping into WWE television, continuing until both men were drafted to separate brands and The Miz attacked Morrison in their last moment together. With the duo reunited, it could add some fun to SmackDown and help get the two over. The WWE has also announced a Firefly Funhouse segment and an appearance by Daniel Bryan. Could fans be seeing one more match in the Fiend vs Bryan feud? And with Super Showdown coming, it wouldn't surprise us if we see one last encounter. Although, as noted earlier, there's still talks of a Kane vs Fiend Inferno match in Saudi Arabia. Next up is Rob Gronkowski coming to SummerSlam. Former New England Patriots star Rob Gronkowski recently hosted a beach party and his guest list included some WWE superstars, including Triple H, Stephanie McMahon and Mojo Rawley. Trips posted a picture of the party on Twitter with the following message: "Thanks for the invite to the beach party. Maybe you should come to our party in Boston. Heard it's the biggest of the summer." There's been speculation about Rob Gronkowski working for the WWE in some capacity ever since Gronk helped Mojo Rawley win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at 2017's WrestleMania 33. Could this year's SummerSlam see Gronkowski don the tights? Would you like to see him in the ring? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, 3 new additions to the SmackDown roster. The Blue brand has officially added 3 superstars to its roster, with Naomi joining Jay and Jimmy Uso as members of the SmackDown brand. The Usos will provide another good tag team for SmackDown with some excellent possible matchups against the New Day, as well as the team of Miz and John Morrison. As for Naomi, it looks like the WWE isn't wasting any time putting her into a world title picture, as she seems to be positioning herself for a match with SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley. Finally, they may be freshening up a few feuds. Next up, is Scott Dawson disgusted with WWE fans? The Revival have been asking for the release from the WWE since 2019, apparently, and as their contracts draw close to expiring, fans are wondering whether Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder will take the small fortune the WWE is offering them to stay, currently rumored to be anywhere from $700,000 to $975,000 each year, or jump ship to another promotion. Still, Scott Dawson doesn't seem to be happy with the fans talking about their potential departure. Dawson recently tweeted, "If we settle, you guys say we're lazy and complacent. If we try to be better, you guys say we're whining and complaining. Make up your mind." Dawson and Wilder's choice is entirely their own, and it'd be hard to complain about them keeping their true intentions hidden from the WWE if they're trying to get the biggest WWE payday possible by teasing a jump somewhere else. The only reason the fans should be upset is if the Revival stays in the WWE, then complains about their push, much as Mike Kanellis did after signing a 5-year contract extension with the WWE. Next up, a health update on WWE legend and Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Whether he was winning the inaugural Royal Rumble or clobbering opponents with his trusty 2x4, Hacksaw Jim Duggan kept WWF fans entertained with his patriotic babyface character. However, the aging process hasn't been always kind to Hacksaw, with the beloved star, who fought kidney cancer back in the 90s, was hospitalized in 2018 due to heart problems that put him in intensive care. Duggan recently spoke with Wrestling Inc. and was asked how he was faring now. "I'm doing great, but I had a few health issues last year. I listened to my doctor and I've dropped about 40 pounds and I'm doing much better. I just turned 66 and I joke that Flair and Hogan still call me kid. Jake Roberts says he's younger, but I want to see a birth certificate." Duggan, who worked in the territories including Mid-South Wrestling before soaring to success in the WWF, said his in-ring career is done, but once in a while I'll hit the ring with a 2x4. I joke that it works as good as it always has. I still love doing the indies because those are the kids that really love wrestling. They have regular jobs but still love wrestling so much. They know the odds of making it are 1,000,000 to 1, but it's still great to go out and see those kids out there and be part of their show. The WWE Hall of Famer currently keeps busy performing on stage as he recounts his days in the ring and shares anecdotes with his fans, and encourages our viewers to let us know how his show is if they attend it. And our final story of today, NXT TakeOver Portland card is starting to shape up. The feud between Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox doesn't seem to have an end in sight, with the two being one of the several big matches for the 16th February NXT TakeOver Portland show. So far, NXT has the following matches booked for the event: Adam Cole vs Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Championship, Rhea Ripley vs Bianca Belair for the NXT Championship, that being the women's. The Undisputed Era will defend against the 2020 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic winner, the Broserweights of Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle for the NXT Tag Team Championships, Finn Balor vs Johnny Gargano, in a street fight between Dakota Kai vs Tegan Nox. Once again, NXT is putting on a potentially outstanding show. However, what will it take for the black and gold brand to win viewers over on Wednesday nights? If you have any ideas, consider the WWE has now 2 very high-level positions open. But there you have it, guys, the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.